So I want to tweak my interface a little bit here. I've been thinking a little bit more about this, and I think I'd like to get rid of the button. Even though I want to show you how to script that, but we script buttons like main menus and stuff in other classes. So I'm just going to grab my output field here. Here's my input field actually, and I'm just going to stretch it across a little bit more this way. And then I'm going to grab another title here, hit Control D, and then press W. And I'm going to actually tell them in two different locations. So this is going to be instructions. And we could always update this instructions as we go. But this one's always going to be press E to submit. And you saw how easy it was in the last tutorial for me to just grab this text here and update it, And then actually, let's go ahead and center this here. Press E to submit. Same thing with my game text. Let's see, here's my title. Output text. Let's just center that. Let's see how that goes when it goes down. Same thing with our title. Let's center that. And then what I'd like to do is right click and just add another image. And I'm going to drag that above the other ones. And that's just going to be used to tint. So I'll just call this tint the background of the monitor. So let's put this here. We needed this behind the computer. Let's name this computer screen. And I'm going to make this roughly the same area here as where all my gameplay is. I'm going to make this black. And then I'm going to take my alpha down a little bit. And that'll help it stand out a little bit. We could have it like sort of feather the edges so it's not so prominent. Actually, maybe I just tint the whole monitor. And that won't look so bad. Now you can see my text stands out a little bit more, and you could just kind of adjust that however you like. All right, so same thing here. If you want your computer screen to be a bit bigger, you can hit R, scale that out a little bit. Whatever you want for gameplay is cool with me in the sense of style and all that good stuff. All right, let's take a look at our code. Now, the first thing we want to do is welcome our player to our text adventure, right? So now that we don't need this button, I'm just going to delete it and save this. And I'm going to pause the video and I'm just going to alter this text here. And it's just going to be a welcome message. And we're going to welcome them. And actually, we need to maybe make another variable. No, I think we're okay. We'll take into our input field. We'll ask them what their name is. And actually, before we do that, let's change our public string here from current location to player name. And then I'm going to put here no name. So this is if they press enter without submitting a name. We could have a prompt where it's like, please enter your name, but we could just do no name. It's fine. Again, we want to keep this pretty simple at first. Now, all I have to do here is change this output text. Let's get rid of current location. It's giving us an error because we deleted that variable. And I'm just going to write, here, let me pause the video and type this out so you don't have to watch me do all of that. So this says, please enter your name and press E to confirm. Notice that I have press E to submit, and I have press E to confirm, or I can change this to submit. Here, we'll change it to submit for continuity. I know this might seem redundant, but the thing is, I'm just teaching the player how to use my game. And so for me, it's always about, well, I'd always err on the side of giving them too much information, or like my friends say, oh, you're insulting their intelligence. I don't think so. So like, I would prefer that they like, oh, okay, so I type in here and I type my name, which is Alex. And we kind of want to change this text on this output. It's barely visible. So let's change that too. But I'd rather, let's see, input field, color. Let's see if we make this, well, I guess white is fine. And then let's see. Let's see if we could, input field settings, selection color. There it is, text area. And then here's our text. You can see the vertex color is like a light gray. Let's go with black. Let's see how that looks. Still very light. Let's see, text here. Let's juice this up. We're going to make it bold. We'll make the font size 18. Hopefully that fits. Let's see what else. It's a little bit better. Let's see, we can also add a black outline. Oh, that's hitting all the text here. Because they're all using the same font here. All right, so what I did is I took my placeholder and I changed the alpha here all the way to 0. And then for my text here, I clicked inside of here and I just made it completely black. And then if we make this like 20, now when I press play and I clicked on bold. Now when I type in a response, you can see it stands out much better. All right, so we took a look a little bit at start last time, which was this one, which runs once. Let's take a look at entering some code inside of input so that it checks the whatever that's being inputted in, and then it we'll have it update here saying please enter the name and press the E, and then we'll have our welcome message. All right, so let's make a variable of type string, and we're going to call this entered name. And we're going to make this equal to name input field, which I think here's our input field. Here we go. We're not naming it name input field, just input field. And we're going to do dot text. And what I'd like to do is, because you'll notice there was like a lot of space here, I just want to trim it to just the text that was entered. So I'm going to type trim here. And that's going to be a method. So what this is going to do is we create a string called entered name here. And on update, what it's going to do is it's going to grab this input field here, whatever we put inside of here, and it's going to trim it down just to Alex, which is my name. And then what I want to do is, now that I have that entered name entered, right? What I can do is I can clear this input field, and so that it's now empty, right? So this name input field, so we don't want to keep text in there. So I'm going to say input field dot text, and I'm just going to set that to a empty string. So just a set of quotes and with nothing in it. So what this does is, let's add a comment here. Stores the name entered, clears the field. Now, if you're not familiar with comments, this is these two dashes make it a comment that the code doesn't read it. But if I'm another engineer, another artist, or programmer is working with you, they can read what this line of code does. Now, what I'd like to do is, because we can always enter this field, but what I'd like to do is I'd like the clearing and all of that stuff to happen after I press the E key to submit. So let's go ahead and add something called an if statement. And an if statement, you just type if and hit tab, it'll auto-populate it for it, is a way of checking if something happened. So what I want to do is say, hey, if input, and what am I checking for? I want to get a key, and I want to check if it's pressed down, if get key down, right, is the same as key code dot E. You could see we could have left it at A or whatever. What I'd like to do is I'd like to take this, I'm going to put it inside of here. Now, it doesn't work for everyone, but if you hold Control Alt and Enter, it should clear up your formatting. But for some reason, it doesn't work for everybody. If I press E here, I'm going to go, what it'll do is it'll actually store the entered name. Okay? So let's go ahead and let's add another output. We have this output text here. So let's grab this equals sign here, and let's just say equals entered name. And let's test this out. So I'm going to press play here. All right, please enter your name and press E to submit. We're here in our code. I want to check if I enter my name here, which is Alex. Oops. There's a problem here. My name, Alex, has an E in it, and so automatically it registered E and it spit it to the scene. We might need to check, maybe we have them press the shift key. See, that's some game programming that we needed, some logic we needed to check. So that was a good error. So I don't think we're going to be doing a lot of tabbing. So I'm just going to, for now, do dot tab, and then I'm going to double click this word tab here, and then I'm going to say press the tab key to submit. Press tab to submit, and then I have another one up here, which is my, let's see, instructions. I'm going to double click that, change that to tab as well. And then I think that should work. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a, we'll clean up this code later. You don't want to have a bunch of code inside your update method. So we're going to actually extract a lot of this in the next video. We'll make like an onSubmit method. So let's go ahead and hit Control S here. Let's test it out now. And I'm going to go ahead and type in Alex. Why is it not? Let's see. Here's our input field. Still Amy, this is this is automatically clearing it the second. So I'm gonna comment this out. We need to add this. Actually, let's go ahead and add this inside of here at the end of my code here. There we go. So this is actually clearing it out before I even get a chance to do anything on every frame. So let's go ahead and test it now. I should be able to type stuff in there. So let's see. Oop, sorry about that. So I'm going to type Alex. Here we go. Now if I hit the tab key, you can see Alex. It's just spitting Alex to the scene. So that's a good way of testing it. All right. So another thing we need to do is just check. Okay. So now we know how to check this. And we could actually just put this output.txt here and just say, you know, like we did before, put a set of quotes, put a plus sign, and say, you know, and actually there's an easier way of embedding, instead of doing like we did before where we say welcome to, and then it appends it to the end. We can actually just do something like this, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to add a kind of like a sub if statement. So I'm going to go inside of here and I'm going to type if, and then hit tab, and I'm going to copy all of this code inside of here. Well, actually what we can do is just do something like this. If, and I'm going to put the not symbol, string, dot is null or empty. So what this does is this is just saying, hey, if this string of text here, which is player name, right, or is, and really where we're receiving the input is in entered name here. So I'm going to move this up. I'm holding Alt and pressing the up arrow key here. So if our entered name here isn't empty, right? So like if I just run the game and I press enter, if it's not empty, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another variable that's just going to store whatever player name is. So, well, we have this here. Let's change. Oh, we actually have one right here, player name. It equals no name. So I'm going to take player name here. I'm going to say player name equals, and then entered name. So what this if statement is checking is it's saying, hey, if the string is not entered, player name equals the entered name. But if it is empty or null, it's just going to default to no name here. So we'll test this out in a second. And then what we can do here is I'm going to go ahead and just delete all of this and just show you a nicer way to write this. So I'm going to write $, open and close quotes, and then I'm going to say welcome to, and then inside of this bracket, this is where we'll place this variable player name here. Player name, comma, adventure game. Welcome to Bubla's adventure game. So we can save that. And then I think that's good. Let's go ahead and save that and then give that a shot. And we're checking if it's empty. So I'm going to do this a couple ways. I'm going to press play and I'm going to click inside of this view. And I'm going to press enter, or tab rather. Let's make sure that our game is in play mode. I hit tempo. It says welcome no names adventure game. Welcome to no names adventure game, because it's just defaulting to this no name here. Now let's hit stop here. Let's type in Alex. Let's press play here. Hit tab. Welcome to Alex's adventure game. So hopefully that made sense. we're kind of working on just these two. We're going to, again, this lesson is really, it's a beginner introductory lesson, but we're focusing more on object-oriented concepts because you get a lot of what a variable is and what a method is in all the other classes. So this is purely, I want to focus on just object-oriented programming concepts. And this is just our initial setup of just talking back and forth to text boxes, which we don't get a lot of in our other classes.